So let's begin with some easy ones, such as Matma on KSFO line 5. Matma, go ahead, please.
Yes, sir. Thank you for taking this call. I'm responding to your request for more information about this Christine Blasey Ford case. I have been researching all weekend, and initially I thought I was going to debunk what was found on your website about these 4 companies that they say are CIA fronts because it says they're all on the same floor of the same building. And initially, I thought, I'm debunking this. Data Watch is in Bedford, Massachusetts. Admiral Security, is in Washington, D.C., and so forth, at different addresses. And the security firm, Admiral Security Services, is in Concord, California. And so originally, I thought, I'm going to debunk this theory, right? But then I called Redcoats on the weekend. They're Massachusetts. They're Washington, D.C. Metro area telephone number, right? And I get an announcement on their recording saying Admiral Security Services, meaning Redcoats is Admiral Security, and they are directly connected, even though they technically say they have different addresses. And I'd like your permission to go over and ask the people at Suite 260 over there in Concord, California, what's going on. And if you're one of the largest security companies in America, why do you just have a suite number? You have an actual big...
So what you're saying is what? Let's boil it down for the listener, that when I raise the question, is Ford tied to the CIA in some way? And I only ask the question because people have been circulating these rumors and making these connections. Are you alleging she is or she is not?
Okay, what I believe is, now separate from all that, I believe that she has been teaching a class for potential CIA agents how to basically get a job, and it starts at $43,000 as an intern in the Central Intelligence Agency if you intend to go into the covert operations area. And she has...
Where would she get the expertise on covert operations? That we're talking about the accuser, Snow White, Dr. Fraud. Where did she get information about how to be a covert operations officer?
How to take polygraph tests. That's part of how you get to be a CIA agent. You must pass a polygraph test. And in the advanced courses, you have to know how to fake it and pass a test even though you're lying, because you're a great deceptive spy, and you can convince people that...
Oh, she teaches that? She teaches that?
Pardon?
She teaches that course?
It's a course for interns of the Central Intelligence Agency at Stanford. Now, I noticed in the media they mentioned only that she was at Palo Alto University, which I had never heard of, but they do have a psychological...
Right. Palo Alto University is a kind of a parking lot university, a storefront, basically. But she uses the words Palo Alto to confuse people into thinking she's a big professor at Stanford. Well, in fact, she does teach a course on how to get a job at the... She's a gatekeeper for the CIA at Stanford, according to what I've been able to read. Do you agree with that?
And that's not all. There are so many connections here to the Central Intelligence Agency. Her grandfather helped invent it, along with Wild Bill Donovan and Bill Casey, who made a nice speech after he retired, and he became...
Now, what makes you so interested in the connection between Dr. Fraud and the CIA?
Organization.
Sorry, I don't think you can hear me.
Yes.
What makes you interested in the connections between Dr. Fraud and the CIA? What brings you to be interested in that?
The thing that made me interested is I retired as a respiratory therapist about 5 years ago, and I'm suddenly inspired to become, for the first time in my life, an investigative journalist. But apparently, as you pointed out, there aren't any out there. Not one senator has done a background check on this woman, revealing the simple facts I've been able to accumulate over the weekend.
Well, okay, I posted on September 27th, is Dr. Ford deeply tied to the CIA? Okay, and her brother Ralph III used to work for the International... You saw all of this, didn't you?
Yes, sir. And also, here's a couple discrepancies in what may be said on your website you can correct, just so we don't get caught, making an error. He worked at Baker Hostetler, but like 9 years before they retained Fusion GPS. So there's a kind of a lack of a connection there, and also Deke is...
But the same law firm that her brother worked at did create Fusion GPS, the company who wrote the Russian dossier.
He left. He wasn't there at the time that they did the GPS thing.
But it's the same company, isn't it?
You're absolutely right. And also, that's that's not the only connection with Baker Hostetler. These guys have been involved with the CIA for a long time.
Well, again, I want to say that I like the CIA. I've been a defender of the CIA. I love the intelligence services. I think we need them desperately. However, if there is a connection between Dr. Fraud or Dr. Ford, whichever you prefer, and the CIA, wouldn't you think that this is something the American people should be aware of?
Any investigative reporter worth his salt would have made some connections about...
Why do you think it's not been talked about yet on Fox News? Why has this linkage from my Twitter feed or my website been linked by any site in America? Why?
Yeah, very...
No, but why? Why are they not linking it and talking about it?
I totally agree.
I mean, they're quick to talk about Kavanaugh. The slightest hint of anything he ever did, from throwing ice to drinking beer, is suddenly a big topic. Why is this connection not a topic when the left used to be obsessed with the CIA? Who is giving them the talking papers and telling them, don't you dare mention anything about Dr. Ford and the CIA?
Oh.
Who do you think is doing that? Well, I'll let people figure it out. Look, let me send you a copy of Stop Mass Hysteria. You're going to find many examples of mass hysteria through the ages. And Mahatma, thank you for calling the Savage Nation. Again,